The package thief did not steal anything the first time my camera noticed him. He just stood beside my mailbox holding somebody else's throw pillow. Not a boxed pillow. The actual pillow. Blue stripes, little tassels, still wearing one corner of clear shipping plastic like it had survived an extremely confusing migration. He stared at my mailbox for 6 seconds, looked directly at the tiny camera mounted beneath the address plaque, then walked away carrying the pillow under one arm. That was the moment I knew 2 things. First, something strange was happening in Alder Creek Terrace. Second, Donna Whitcomb was going to blame my camera before she blamed the man carrying stolen home decor down the street. My name is Ryan Mercer, and I lived outside Fort Collins, Colorado, in a neighborhood where porches were neat, mailboxes matched, and delivery vans arrived often enough that half the street could identify a UPS truck by engine note alone. I worked from home designing warehouse inventory systems, which meant packages were part of my normal life because hardware samples, replacement sensors, test scanners, cables, and small electronic components constantly appeared at my house. Most were boring. One box once contained 48 rolls of industrial barcode labels and a complimentary stress ball shaped like a forklift, which was still the most emotionally supportive thing one of my vendors had ever sent me. For years, deliveries landed at my porch without trouble. Then packages started wandering, not disappearing completely at first. Wandering. My neighbor, Gloria Tate, found a box of gardening gloves on top of her recycling bin 2 houses away from where the driver had photographed them. A teenager named Miles Keegan discovered his new sneakers behind a decorative rock at the end of the block. Somebody opened a box containing dog shampoo, apparently reconsidered the crime after reading the label, and left it beneath a park bench. Nobody knew whether drivers were making mistakes, kids were moving things as a joke, or residents had developed a neighborhood-wide inability to remember their own front doors. The HOA sent one email reminding everyone to verify delivery locations before escalating concerns, which sounded helpful until 3 more packages vanished the following week. That was when Gloria knocked on my door holding a picture of an empty porch. "Ryan, you work with cameras, right?" she asked. "Inventory sensors," I said. "Close enough for neighborhood standards." I did not install a camera because I wanted to watch people. I installed it because the delivery pattern around my house was odd. Several carriers used the curbside parcel shelf built into the decorative mailbox post when boxes were small enough, especially if nobody answered the door. The mailbox itself stood about 25 feet from my porch, so my existing doorbell camera could barely see that area. I mounted a compact camera beneath my own address plaque, angled downward across the parcel shelf, curb strip, and the first few feet of my driveway. It did not swivel. It did not track pedestrians. It could not see inside anyone's house unless somebody moved their living room into the gutter. I tested the view on my phone, adjusted it so the neighboring mailbox was outside frame, and thought the matter was finished. Donna Whitcomb noticed it 6 hours later. Donna chaired the Alder Creek HOA Compliance Committee and approached exterior modifications the way customs agents approach suspicious luggage. She was 54, immaculately organized, and had a habit of narrowing her eyes at ordinary objects as though they had failed to complete a form. She came to my driveway while I was tightening the camera bracket, stopped beside the curb, and looked up at it. "Is that recording me?" she asked. "At the moment, it is recording your shoes," I said. She looked down. "That is harassment." I glanced at my phone screen. Her shoes occupied approximately 9% of the image. Your shoes seem emotionally stable. Donna did not laugh. She looked at the lens again and said, You cannot install surveillance equipment on a shared streetscape without approval. I asked what shared streetscape meant. She pointed toward the mailbox line. Anything facing common pedestrian areas. I reminded her that the camera was mounted on my mailbox structure, on my property, watching my parcel shelf and driveway's approach. She said residents had a reasonable expectation not to be documented during routine neighborhood movement. I asked whether that included doorbell cameras. She said doorbell cameras were different because they faced entrances. I pointed toward my driveway. This faces an entrance, she said, not the right kind. That was when I realized we were no longer discussing privacy. We were discussing architecture with feelings. 2 days later, I received an HOA notice titled Unapproved Exterior Surveillance Device / Resident Conduct Concern. The second half was more interesting than the first. Donna claimed the camera created a perception of targeted observation and could be interpreted as harassment toward residents engaged in HOA inspection or neighborhood walking. I read that sentence 3 times because apparently even strolling had become a protected administrative activity. The notice requested removal pending review. I replied with photographs showing the camera angle, the limited field of view, and the parcel shelf directly beneath it. I also included a screenshot from one recording in which the only identifiable subject was a squirrel examining a delivery envelope. My caption said, Current primary suspect. The HOA did not acknowledge the joke. Then Gloria lost her medication. Not emergency medication, but important enough that the humor stopped quickly. She was 71 and received a 90-day prescription by mail because the local pharmacy did not always stock the exact brand her doctor wanted her using. The carrier marked the package delivered at 1:42 p.m. The delivery photograph showed it on her porch. By 2:10, it was gone. Gloria called the carrier, the pharmacy, and then me because she remembered I had installed the mailbox camera. My camera did not see her porch. It did, however, capture the street between our houses. At 1:56, a young man in a gray hoodie walked past carrying a small padded pharmacy envelope. I could not tell whether it was Gloria's. Then, 12 seconds later, he came back the opposite direction without it. Gloria stared at the footage on my phone. Can you zoom? She asked. I did. The image softened, but remained usable. No clear face, no readable label, just the shape of the package, the hoodie, black shorts, and a distinctive red water bottle clipped to a backpack strap. Could be anyone, I said. Gloria nodded, but she looked shaken. The pharmacy arranged a replacement after speaking with her doctor, yet she stopped ordering anything she considered valuable to her house. Her daughter started sending packages to work instead. That bothered me more than losing electronics would have. A neighborhood should not make a 71-year-old woman reorganize her life because someone had discovered front porches were easier than jobs. Donna chose that week to escalate the camera complaint. She sent me an email stating that a resident had reported feeling personally monitored while walking past my home. No name, no date, no specific incident. I asked whether the person had entered my driveway or approached the parcel shelf. Donna replied that location was irrelevant because the camera's existence itself could be intimidating. I wrote back, if the existence of a fixed camera is intimidating, I am unsure how to reposition existence. That earned me a $75 fine. The violation category had changed again, now to exterior device non-compliance and continued disregard of privacy concerns. Donna was improving the vocabulary faster than the evidence. I appealed. Not with a lawyer, not with a constitutional speech, I simply requested the exact HOA rule governing camera placement and the specific portion of my property that the association claimed the device could not observe. Donna sent an architectural guideline covering exterior electronics visible from the street. It discussed satellite dishes, decorative lighting, antenna placement, and utility boxes. Cameras were never mentioned. She then cited a general nuisance clause prohibiting conduct that unreasonably interferes with neighboring enjoyment. That clause covered everything from loud machinery to offensive odors. Apparently, mine now included a lens smaller than a golf ball. While we argued, the package problem got worse. Not dramatic enough for people to call it a crime wave, just consistent enough to feel wrong. A box of coffee pods vanished from one porch. A book order disappeared from another. Someone took a small electronics package belonging to Miles and left the empty shipping box behind a hedge. 2 deliveries were found opened near the neighborhood walking trail with cheap items removed and expensive-looking packaging abandoned. One thief apparently stole a box of orthopedic insoles and discarded them 30 yards later, suggesting even criminals had standards. Residents started blaming delivery drivers. Drivers started taking extra photographs. The neighborhood app became an endless argument between people who believed every missing package was theft and people who believed nobody would steal 12 pounds of cat litter. My mailbox camera kept catching fragments: a gray hoodie, a red bottle. Once, a white sedan moving slowly past the mailbox row. Another time, a woman in a tan jacket carrying 3 packages stacked high enough to hide her face, then turning onto a side street instead of approaching any visible house. None of it was enough. I started saving clips anyway. Not because I planned to solve anything, because patterns are what I do for a living. Inventory systems are basically organized suspicion. If 6 scanners report the same error, the 7th is not bad luck. You look for structure. The strange structure here was time. Most missing packages disappeared between 1:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon. Not evening. Not overnight. During the window after many deliveries arrived and before school let out fully or commuters returned. The thieves were using the neighborhood's quietest 2 hours. Then my own package disappeared. It contained 2 handheld barcode scanners worth nearly $900 total. I knew exactly when they arrived, because the carrier photograph showed them sitting on my parcel shelf at 2:07 p.m. At 2:13, the mailbox camera recorded a person approaching. Gray hoodie, black shorts, red water bottle. The same one. For the first time, he came close enough that I saw his face. Young. Maybe 19. Maybe 22. Thin beard, dark cap. He looked toward my house, stepped to the parcel shelf, lifted the box, and then did something I had not expected. He looked directly into the camera. Not surprised. Not scared. Annoyed. Then he raised one hand and gave the lens a small wave. I watched the clip twice. The second time made me angrier. Not because of the scanners, because that wave meant he knew the camera existed, which meant the thieves were not simply wandering through Alder Creek grabbing unattended packages. They were paying attention to security. I called the non-emergency police line. Officer Leah Moreno arrived that evening. She was practical, patient, and less impressed by my camera than Donna had managed to be in either direction. She watched the clip. Do you know him? No. Any reason he would think the package belonged to him? No. Any delivery dispute? No. She took the original file rather than a phone recording. Then she asked whether I had clips from other days. I showed her the folder, 23 short recordings. She watched several, then stopped on the white sedan. "Can you go back?" I did. She leaned closer. Again. I replayed it. The sedan moved past slowly. Sunlight flashed across the rear window. No plate visible. No driver. Nothing obvious. "What?" I asked. She pointed. "Passenger door." I zoomed. There was a sticker near the bottom edge of the window. A faded oval. Dark lettering. Officer Moreno did not identify it immediately. She took a still image, then asked, "Any other clips with this vehicle?" I searched. 3. Different days. Same afternoon window. The sedan passed shortly before or after packages vanished. That was the first moment my camera became more than a neighborhood argument. Not proof. A clue. Officer Moreno asked me not to confront anyone and not to post recognizable images publicly while they checked recent theft reports. I agreed. Then she looked at the mailbox camera. "Useful angle." I laughed. "You should tell my HOA." She raised an eyebrow. "Problem? You have no idea." Unfortunately, Donna arrived before Officer Moreno left. She came walking from the clubhouse direction carrying her familiar compliance folder and stopped when she saw the patrol vehicle. Her eyes went from the officer to me, then up to the mailbox camera. "What happened?" "Package theft." Donna looked at Officer Moreno. "From Ryan." "Yes," I said. She stepped closer. "Is that camera involved?" Officer Moreno answered calmly. "It captured relevant footage." Donna's expression tightened. Then she said something so perfectly Donna that even Officer Moreno paused. "Was the footage obtained appropriately?" I stared at her. Officer Moreno asked, "What do you mean?" Donna pointed toward the camera. "There is an ongoing HOA concern regarding harassment and resident privacy." The officer looked at the camera, then toward the street, then back at Donna. "Is it pointed into somebody's home? No. Private backyard? No. Window? No." Donna hesitated. "It captures pedestrians. So does traffic surveillance." "That is different." Officer Moreno did not argue with her. She simply said, "The footage Ryan provided appears to show activity on and immediately adjacent to his property. We are using it as part of a theft report." Donna looked toward me. "You still need to remove it pending HOA review." Officer Moreno glanced at me. I could almost see the question forming. I shook my head slightly. "Not worth it." Donna left. The next morning, my fine doubled. That was when the whole conflict crossed from annoying into absurd. The official email stated that police use of the footage did not retroactively validate an unapproved device. Technically, that sentence was logical. Emotionally, it was magnificent. Someone had stolen nearly $900 of equipment from my property. The camera had captured the suspect. Police were reviewing a possible vehicle connected to multiple thefts, and Donna's priority remained the camera's architectural feelings. I printed the email. Not for revenge, for motivation. Then Gloria called me. Another package had vanished. Not hers. Her neighbor's. But Gloria had seen something. At 2:18 p.m., she watched a white sedan stop near the corner. A young man got out. Gray hoodie. He walked toward the houses. A woman remained in the passenger seat. Gloria could not see the driver. Then, 5 minutes later, the same man returned carrying 2 boxes. She wrote down part of the plate. 3 characters. Not enough alone. Combined with my camera footage, may be useful. I called Officer Moreno. She took the information. then asked if my camera had recorded the sedan that day. I checked. Yes, at 2:16. This time the vehicle passed closer. The rear plate was still partly obscured by glare. But the first character matched Gloria's note. Then the third. Officer Moreno asked me to send the clip. She called back an hour later. Her tone was different. "We may have the vehicle." My stomach tightened. "From the partial?" "Partial plus vehicle description plus theft reports in another subdivision." "Another neighborhood?" "Yes." That was the shocking part. Alder Creek was not the only target. Similar package thefts had been reported in 2 developments within 6 miles. Same afternoon window. Same white sedan mentioned by witnesses. Same pattern of grabbing multiple small deliveries quickly and leaving lower-value items nearby. This was organized enough to be repeated. Not sophisticated, but practiced. Officer Moreno asked if I could preserve all original recordings for the past month. I said yes. Then she added something unexpected. "Do not change the camera angle." I looked out my window toward the mailbox. "Why?" "Because if they come back, the current angle is useful." That created a problem. Donna's compliance deadline required me to reposition or remove the camera by Friday. Police had just asked me not to change it. For the first time, 2 different authorities were giving me completely opposite instructions. One wanted the camera exactly where it was. The other wanted it gone. And Donna, who had spent 2 weeks insisting the lens was harassing pedestrians, had no idea her next enforcement visit might walk straight into an active package theft investigation. Donna chose Friday morning to conduct what she called a compliance verification, which sounded more impressive than what it actually was, standing beside my mailbox and staring at a camera while holding a ruler. She measured the distance between the lens and the address plaque, photographed the bracket, stepped backward, and then raised the ruler again as if perspective itself might confess. I watched from the driveway with a mug of coffee while Officer Moreno's words repeated in my head. "Do not change the camera angle." Donna finally looked at me and said, "You understand the removal deadline is today?" I nodded. "I understand you sent an email." Her eyes narrowed. "That is not the same thing." I sipped my coffee. "It is the part I am currently comfortable confirming." She walked toward me. "Ryan, this is not optional." I said, "Police asked me not to move it." Donna stopped. "Police cannot override HOA architectural standards." I said, "I did not say they could." She looked toward the camera again. "Then remove it." I shook my head. "Not while it is preserving an active view connected to theft reports." Donna stared at me for several seconds. "You are using a criminal investigation to avoid compliance." I almost laughed. "Somebody stole $900 of equipment from me, Donna. This is an unusually expensive excuse." She did not like that. She wrote something on her clipboard, then asked whether the officer had given me a written order. I said no. Donna smiled faintly. "Then you have no formal exemption." That was the first time I realized she was not trying to understand the conflict anymore. She wanted the process to win. If police had asked verbally, that was not enough. If the camera had captured a thief, that was not enough. If 3 neighborhoods were reporting the same car, still not enough. The camera was out of sequence, and Donna trusted sequence more than circumstance. By noon, the HOA had added another $100 to my account. The violation language now said, "Willful continuation of unapproved surveillance installation after notice," which sounded less like a neighborhood association and more like I had mounted a satellite over someone's bathroom. I forwarded the email to Officer Moreno, not because I expected her to solve HOA policy, but because I wanted a record showing why the camera might disappear suddenly. She called me 20 minutes later. "Are they actually making you remove it?" I said, "They are trying." She asked, "Can you leave it for 72 more hours?" I looked toward the mailbox. "I can leave it until someone physically unscrews it." She paused. "Please do not make that an invitation." The reason she wanted 72 hours was simple. Patrol officers had identified a white sedan matching my footage and Gloria's partial plate as a vehicle seen near package theft reports in Westfield Glen and Briar Hollow, 2 subdivisions east of Alder Creek. The car was registered to a 24-year-old man named Darren Pike, but police did not yet know whether he was driving during the thefts. Darren had no serious record, just a couple of traffic citations and 1 shoplifting charge that had been dismissed years earlier. The gray hoodie suspect was not Darren, at least based on the registration photo Officer Moreno had shown me briefly. That meant they were likely dealing with more than one person. The woman in the passenger seat complicated it further. My camera had caught pieces of a crew, but still not the whole thing. That afternoon, something new appeared in the neighborhood app. A resident named Cheryl Ramsey posted that her package had disappeared from the porch, even though she had been home all day. She claimed the delivery driver never knocked. 20 minutes later, someone else replied that drivers should be required to hand packages directly to residents. Another resident suggested installing a locked parcel box at every house. Donna commented from her official HOA account that the association was reviewing reasonable package security practices that respect privacy and community aesthetics. I stared at the words, then I looked outside at the tiny camera she had fined me for keeping. The irony had developed its own weather system. Gloria called that evening and asked me to come over. She had received the replacement medication safely, but something else was bothering her. Her daughter had ordered a blood pressure monitor, and the tracking page showed it delivered that afternoon. Gloria had been sitting in the living room. No knock, no box. She had gone outside within 10 minutes and found nothing. "I am done ordering things here," she said. I could hear embarrassment beneath the frustration. That bothered me. Losing a package is irritating. Feeling like your own house is no longer a safe delivery. Address is something different. We checked my camera footage for the delivery window. At 2:41, the white sedan passed slowly. At 2:44, the gray hoodie man walked toward Gloria's side of the street. At 2:47, he returned carrying a medium box with a white medical supply label. At 2:48, a woman appeared for the first time clearly enough to study. She was maybe late 20s, dark ponytail, tan jacket, black leggings, and she was carrying 2 packages from different homes. She did not hurry. She walked like she belonged there. That confidence was almost more unsettling than the theft itself. Then the woman did something odd. Instead of walking back toward the sedan immediately, she stopped beside my mailbox. She looked up at the camera. She pointed at it. The gray hoodie man came closer, and both stared directly into the lens. He said something I could not hear. She laughed. Then she held one stolen box up toward the camera as if posing with a trophy. That was stupid enough to be useful. Her face remained visible for nearly 4 seconds. Officer Moreno arrived within the hour. She watched the clip once, then again. "Good," she said. I looked at her. "Good?" She nodded. We did not have her face. The footage was clearer than anything from the other neighborhoods. A patrol officer recognized the woman from a prior trespassing call near a shopping center. Her name was Kelsey Vale, 27, and she was known to associate with Darren Pike. The gray hoodie man remained unidentified. Police now had 2 people connected loosely to the vehicle, and a pattern of thefts across multiple subdivisions. Still, Officer Moreno warned me that did not mean they could simply arrest everyone based on a few clips. Donna arrived while Officer Moreno was standing beside the mailbox again. I began to suspect Donna had some kind of internal radar for moments that made her position look worse. She walked over holding a printed violation notice and said, "Ryan, the deadline passed." Officer Moreno looked at her. Donna looked at the officer. Neither spoke for a second. Then Donna said, "I assume you are finished with the footage." Officer Moreno answered, "No." Donna's expression tightened. "How long will you need it?" Officer Moreno said, "I cannot give you an investigative timeline." That was the first sentence all week Donna could not convert into procedure. Donna lowered her voice. "The HOA has privacy obligations." Officer Moreno nodded. "Then handle your obligations." Donna seemed surprised by how little interest the officer had in arguing. "But if the camera remains, residents may continue to feel targeted." Officer Moreno looked toward the parcel shelf. "Right now we have residents being targeted for theft." Donna opened her mouth, then closed it. I did not smile. I wanted to. Officer Moreno turned toward me and said, "Save everything from today." Then she left. The next HOA notice did not demand immediate removal. That was new. Instead, it ordered me to install a physical privacy shield around the camera within 48 hours, limiting the field of view to the immediate mailbox apparatus only. Donna had found a compromise that was somehow worse. If I enclosed the lens enough to satisfy her, the camera would no longer see the sidewalk approach or the curb where the sedan passed. It would record packages disappearing without recording who took them. I emailed a diagram showing exactly that. Donna replied that theft investigation concerns did not eliminate the association's duty to reduce incidental recording of pedestrians. I wrote back, "The pedestrian currently stealing packages is the incident." That reply earned no fine. It earned silence, which was more worrying. The silence lasted until Sunday afternoon, when I noticed something had changed at the mailbox. The camera image looked darker on one side. I went outside and found a small strip of frosted plastic taped along the left edge of the lens housing. Not over the lens entirely, just enough to obscure part of the sidewalk view. I pulled it off and stared at it. Somebody had physically altered the camera. No damage. No broken bracket. Just a makeshift privacy shield. I checked the footage. At 9:12 that morning, Donna walked into frame. She stood beside the mailbox for several seconds, holding the frosted strip. Then she looked toward my house, reached up, and taped it onto the camera. I watched the clip twice, because I genuinely could not believe she had touched it. Then I called her. "Did you put something on my camera?" She did not deny it. "I installed a temporary visual limiter." I said, "You altered equipment on my property." She replied, "I applied removable material to bring the device closer to interim compliance." For once, I did not make a joke. Police told me not to change the angle. Donna said, "The angle has not changed." I looked at the frosted strip in my hand. "You blocked the view." She answered, "Only the unnecessary portion." I asked whether the HOA had authorized her to physically modify my property. Silence. Then she said, "It was temporary." I replied, "Do not touch the camera again." My voice sounded different enough that she did not argue. I sent the clip to Officer Moreno. She called me almost immediately. "She did that herself?" I said yes. "Did she damage anything?" No. "Did she delete footage?" No. "Then keep the strip and document it, but do not escalate this into a separate confrontation." I agreed. Then she asked exactly what section the strip had blocked. I described it. She went quiet. "That sidewalk side?" "Yes." "The direction the suspects usually approach?" "Yes." That coincidence made me uneasy, not because I thought Donna was helping thieves. I did not. But her privacy campaign had now accidentally interfered with the most useful part of the camera view. If she had taped it there 24 hours earlier, the footage of Kelsey might have been partially obscured. If she did it again at the wrong time, police could lose a clean approach shot. Donna was not part of the theft problem. Her obsession with the camera was becoming part of the evidence problem. Officer Moreno asked me to leave the camera untouched and call immediately if anyone altered it again. Then she told me something else. Detectives had traced several stolen items to online resale listings: small electronics, unopened shoes, beauty products, coffee accessories, and household devices had appeared on local marketplace accounts shortly after disappearing from porches. The sellers used multiple profiles, but pickup locations clustered around 2 apartment complexes. One account had posted a handheld barcode scanner that looked exactly like mine. I felt my jaw tighten. The listing had been removed already. Police had preserved screenshots. The thieves were not just grabbing random packages and hoping for something useful. They were sorting quickly, keeping resellable items, and dumping low-value products nearby. That explained the abandoned insoles, the dog shampoo, the opened boxes near the trail. It also explained why medical packages sometimes vanished, even if the contents were useless to them. They grabbed first, inspected later. Gloria's medication was not targeted because it was medication. It was targeted because it was a package. The emotional part hit me harder after that. Gloria had spent days wondering whether somebody specifically wanted her prescription. Another neighbor thought someone knew about his expensive electronics order. Miles believed his sneakers were stolen because teenagers were being watched. People were building personal explanations around something that was actually impersonal. The thieves did not know them. They knew delivery schedules. That was colder in a different way. Monday afternoon, the white sedan returned. My phone sent a motion alert at 2:26. I was working in the upstairs office when I saw the vehicle move slowly into frame. I did not go outside. Officer Moreno had been clear about that. The sedan stopped beyond my property where the camera could only catch part of the rear quarter panel. A young man stepped out. Gray hoodie. Red bottle. Same suspect. He walked toward a house across the street. A delivery had arrived there 12 minutes earlier. I called the non-emergency number Officer Moreno had given me and said the suspect vehicle was present. The dispatcher told me officers were being sent. I watched through the camera feed instead of the window because I did not want to be visible. The gray hoodie man returned carrying a small box. Then Kelsey got out of the passenger seat. She walked directly toward my mailbox. My stomach tightened. She was not carrying a package this time. She was carrying black spray paint. I stood up. On the screen, she shook the can once, looked at the camera, and smiled. Then she raised it. Before she sprayed, someone shouted from off-camera. Kelsey turned. The gray hoodie man ran. A patrol car entered the far end of the street. Everything became motion. Kelsey dropped the paint and sprinted back toward the sedan. The driver accelerated before the gray hoodie man reached the passenger door. He slapped the side of the car, missed the handle, and stumbled. The sedan kept going. He ran between two houses instead. Kelsey did not make it back to the car either. She reversed direction and ran along the sidewalk. The camera captured her face again, then captured something better. The white sedan passed directly in front of my mailbox as it fled. No glare this time. Full rear plate. Clear. For 2 seconds. The exact camera Donna had tried to shield recorded the plate police had been trying to confirm for weeks. I called Officer Moreno before she could call me. "I have the plate," she answered. "We do too." "What?" "Patrol saw it leaving." "Did they catch them?" "Not yet." The driver had escaped the immediate neighborhood before another unit could intercept. Kelsey disappeared behind a line of houses. The gray hoodie man went the opposite direction. Officers began searching the area. Residents were told to stay inside and not interfere. Donna ignored that instruction. Of course she did. I saw her on the camera 20 minutes later walking toward my house. No clipboard, no ruler, no frosted plastic. Just Donna moving quickly. I opened the door before she reached the driveway. "Go home." She stopped. "What happened?" "Police are searching for 2 theft suspects." Her face changed. "Here?" "Yes." "From the packages?" "Yes." She looked toward the mailbox camera, then toward the street. "Did it record them?" "Yes." She stared at me. For the first time since this began, she did not say anything about privacy. Then a police officer emerged from between 2 houses behind her. "Ma'am, please return inside." Donna jumped. Actually, jumped. Not dramatically. Just enough. She turned around, nodded, and walked home without argument. I almost felt bad for enjoying that. Almost. An hour later, police found the gray hoodie suspect hiding inside an unlocked construction trailer near the edge of the subdivision. His name was Travis Boone. 21. He had the red water bottle still clipped to his backpack. Inside the backpack were 2 unopened packages from Alder Creek and a utility knife. The package stolen from across the street was one of them. That was the first arrest. Kelsey was still missing. Darren Pike, the registered owner of the white sedan, was still not confirmed as the driver, and police had not recovered most of the stolen property. The case was not finished. But for the first time, it had a face, a plate, an arrest, and physical evidence connected directly to a theft captured near my house. Then Officer Moreno came to my door holding something I did not expect. The frosted plastic strip Donna had taped onto the camera. I had given it to her earlier as part of my documentation. She handed it back. "You may want to keep this." "Why?" She looked toward Donna's house. "Because your HOA president accidentally demonstrated something useful." "What? If that strip had still been there today, your plate image might have been partially blocked." I stared. Moreno continued. We will document that the unobstructed camera view contributed to identifying the fleeing vehicle. I almost laughed. Donna is going to love that. Officer Moreno smiled slightly. I am not writing it for Donna. That night, the HOA sent a neighborhood safety alert. Donna wrote it herself. It warned residents about package thefts, asked people not to confront suspicious individuals, and encouraged prompt retrieval of deliveries. Then I reached the final paragraph. Residents with exterior cameras are encouraged to preserve relevant footage and cooperate with law enforcement. I read it 3 times. She did not mention my camera. She did not withdraw the fines. She did not admit anything. But the woman trying to remove exterior surveillance had just used the official HOA email system to ask residents to preserve exterior surveillance. That should have been satisfying enough. It was not, because 10 minutes later, Gloria called. Her voice was shaking. "Ryan, somebody is at my back door." I stood up. "What?" "I heard the gate." "Are you inside?" "Yes." "Lock everything." "It is locked. Call 911. I already did. I moved toward my front window, but stayed back from the glass. Then my camera alert sounded again. Not mailbox motion, driveway motion. A woman came into frame from the side street. Tan jacket, dark ponytail. Kelsey. She was not running anymore. She was walking fast, staying close to houses, moving away from Gloria's property. Then she stopped beside my mailbox, looked directly at the camera. And this time, she was not smiling. She held up one finger. Not the middle finger. Index finger. Then pointed across the street, toward Donna Whitcomb's house. A second later, she disappeared out of frame. I had no idea why, but suddenly the package theft investigation and Donna's camera war were about to collide in a way none of us had expected. Kelsey pointing at Donna's house was the kind of clue that made perfect sense for 3 seconds and then became completely useless. I called Officer Moreno and sent the clip before doing anything else. She told me to stay inside, keep Gloria on the phone if possible, and absolutely not walk across the street to ask Donna whether a wanted package thief had recently scheduled an appointment. 2 patrol units entered Alder Creek from opposite directions, while I watched the mailbox feed, the driveway feed, and my front windows in turns. Kelsey did not reappear. Gloria's backyard remained quiet after the gate noise. Donna's curtains moved once. Then my phone rang. It was Donna. "Ryan." "Yes?" "There is a woman behind my garage." I stood up so fast my desk chair rolled into the wall. "Lock your doors." Donna whispered that everything was locked, but she had seen somebody move past the side window and crouch near the trash enclosure. I asked whether she could identify her. Donna said no at first, then paused and added, "Tan jacket." I looked at the frozen camera image on my monitor. Kelsey had not been pointing toward Donna's house as some cryptic accusation. She had been telling whoever watched that she was going there. Officer Moreno reached Donna's property first. I could not see the backyard from my cameras, which suddenly felt like the healthiest limitation in the world. For nearly 10 minutes, nothing happened, except radio traffic I could not hear clearly and neighbors peeking through curtains despite repeated police instructions to stay inside. Then, an officer walked Kelsey out from between Donna's house and garage. Her wrists were behind her back. She looked furious, exhausted, and much younger without the smug expression she wore while posing with stolen packages. Donna followed several yards behind, pale and holding her phone against her chest. When she saw me standing inside my doorway, she pointed at the mailbox camera and yelled, "Did that see her come here?" I nodded. Donna closed her eyes. That was the shortest privacy debate we ever had. Police found something else behind Donna's garage. A reusable grocery bag containing 4 unopened packages. None belonged to Donna. 2 came from Alder Creek houses, 1 from Westfield Glen, and 1 had an address in Briar Hollow. Kelsey had apparently been moving on foot after losing the car, collecting or carrying items she had no intention of keeping while she tried to avoid police. Why she chose Donna's yard remained unclear. Officer Moreno initially thought Kelsey simply wanted a hidden route between houses. Then they found a second bag. This one contained printed neighborhood maps, not maps from the HOA office, commercial delivery maps. Several residential streets were highlighted in yellow. Alder Creek had circles around 12 houses. Gloria's was one, mine was another. Donna's was not. That mattered. The thieves had not selected homes randomly. They were tracking delivery-heavy addresses. Officer Moreno asked me whether I regularly received business packages. I said yes. Gloria received prescriptions and medical items. Miles's family ordered frequently. 2 other circled houses belonged to residents who ran online businesses from home. Kelsey and the others had apparently learned which homes produced predictable packages, then watched carrier patterns and returned during the quiet afternoon window. The white sedan was not simply cruising until somebody spotted a box. They had built routes. The shocking part was how low-tech it was. No hacked delivery accounts, no stolen carrier database, no inside employee. They followed delivery vans. That was it. One person watched vehicles enter subdivisions. Another drove ahead or behind. The crew learned which houses received packages frequently and began revisiting them. Some days they took nothing. Other days they collected 5 or 6 items in less than 20 minutes. It was ugly because it was simple. Officer Moreno later told me package thieves often succeed because everyone assumes the crime requires more sophistication than it does. In our case, the crew relied on repetition and confidence. Walk quickly, carry packages openly, look like you belong. If somebody noticed, wave. If a camera existed, cover your face or avoid the angle next time. That explained why Travis had waved at mine. He thought knowing about the camera meant he controlled the situation. He did not realize I saved patterns. Kelsey did. That was why she had approached with spray paint. After her arrest, police interviewed her separately from Travis. I did not hear the interview, obviously, but Officer Moreno later explained enough for me to understand the structure. Kelsey claimed Darren Pike drove on several theft runs, but not all of them. Travis handled most porch pickups because he was fast and looked young enough to pass as somebody's college-age son. Kelsey sometimes collected from mail areas or acted as a lookout. A 4th person had helped resell items online. Darren's sedan was used because it was common-looking and had no distinctive damage. The faded oval sticker my camera caught was apparently from an old mountain resort parking permit. That tiny detail helped officers compare footage from the other subdivisions. Donna called me the next morning. Not emailed. Called. That alone told me she was emotionally off balance. "Are you available?" "Yes." "I need to talk." "About the camera." Pause. "Yes." I expected surrender. That would have been too easy. Donna arrived at my house carrying 3 folders. Of course she did. She sat at my kitchen table and placed them in front of me. One contained my violation history. One contained HOA architectural guidelines. The third held printed screenshots from the neighborhood app. Donna folded her hands. Residents are demanding more cameras. I stared at her. That happened quickly. Very. How many? Enough. The arrest had transformed neighborhood opinion overnight. People who barely cared about my dispute were suddenly asking whether mailbox cameras, driveway cameras, package lockers, motion lights, and curb-facing devices could be installed. One resident wanted 3 cameras on a single decorative post. Another had proposed a camera disguised as an owl. Donna said that part with visible pain. Someone else wanted to install a solar-powered pole camera near the sidewalk. Your harassment complaint has become a product category, I said. She frowned. That is exactly my problem. I almost enjoyed it too much. Donna did not want the HOA to ban cameras anymore. She wanted rules before everybody turned Alder Creek into what she called a residential surveillance experiment. I told her most residents probably wanted basic package coverage, not border control. She said the association needed standards for height, placement, field of view, visible cabling, lighting, and whether cameras could face neighboring property. That was not unreasonable. Then she opened my violation folder. But before we write anything, we have to resolve yours. Withdraw it. She looked irritated. You enjoy simplicity too much. It is one of my flaws. I cannot pretend the original concern was imaginary. It was. No. She tapped the paperwork. Residents did complain. About being recorded? Yes. While walking on the street? Yes. Did my camera target them? That depends on how you define target. It does not move. That is not the entire issue. I leaned back. Donna explained something she had never told me clearly before. One resident who complained was not worried about privacy generally. She believed my camera had been installed specifically to record HOA compliance inspections. Donna herself believed that too at first, because I mounted it less than 2 weeks after she photographed a landscaping issue near my mailbox. The timing was coincidence. I barely remembered the landscaping inspection, but in Donna's head, the camera looked retaliatory. You thought I installed surveillance because you inspected my mailbox? Yes. Why did you not ask? I did. No. You asked whether it was recording you. That is not the same question. She opened her mouth, then stopped. That was progress. I asked who the resident was. Donna refused to identify her. Fine. I did not need the name. The important part was that the harassment accusation had grown from interpretation, not evidence. My camera existed near a place Donna routinely inspected, therefore she believed it might have been meant for her. She converted suspicion into enforcement without first establishing intent. I pointed toward the folders. And then you physically taped something over it. Donna looked embarrassed. Yes. Without permission. Yes. While police were asking me to preserve the angle. Yes. That could have blocked the plate. She looked at the table. Yes. I waited. Donna hated silence. Eventually, she said, "That was a mistake." Not apology. Admission. I accepted it, then I asked whether the fines were gone. She said not yet. I laughed so hard she became angry again. What? You just admitted the enforcement theory was partly assumption, admitted you altered the camera, acknowledged it helped police identify a vehicle, and you still brought me an active fine balance. The board has to process adjustments. Of course. It is accounting. Dangerous opponent. Ryan. Sorry. I was not sorry. Before Donna left, she asked for one thing. Can you help us draft camera guidelines? I stared at her. No. Why? Because last week you called mine harassment. That is precisely why your input would be useful. That sentence should hurt you. It does. I smiled. Good. Then I agreed. Not because I wanted HOA responsibility. Because bad rules were how this started. If Alder Creek was going to write camera standards, somebody needed to keep them from becoming 12 pages of decorative lens restrictions. I suggested 3 principles. Cameras on private property should focus primarily on the owner's property or access points. Incidental capture of public streets or sidewalks should not automatically be treated as targeting. And enforcement needed to depend on actual conduct, not the fact that somebody felt watched because a camera existed. Donna added restrictions against deliberately aiming into neighboring windows or private backyards. Reasonable. We argued over mailbox structures. She wanted architectural approval for anything visible from the street. I wanted small cameras treated like doorbells if they fit within existing fixtures. We compromised. Then she tried to ban colored status lights. I stared at her. Donna, they can be visually distracting. It is a 2mm LED. At night. Do you stand beside mailboxes at night? She removed that section. That was probably my greatest legislative achievement. Meanwhile, police searched for Darren Pike. The white sedan had not returned to his registered apartment. His phone was off. The vehicle appeared on a traffic camera heading south, then disappeared into normal city movement. Kelsey and Travis were in custody on theft-related charges while detectives continued matching recovered property to reports. The 4th resale contact was being investigated separately. Officer Moreno warned residents not to assume the case was finished simply because 2 suspects were caught. Darren remained the person police most wanted to locate. Then a package arrived at my house. Not stolen, delivered normally. No return name I recognized. Small cardboard box. I almost laughed at how suspicious packaging now felt. I carried it inside and opened it. Inside was one of my missing barcode scanners. No note, no charger. Just the scanner. I called Officer Moreno before touching. Anything else? She came over and examined the shipping label. The box had been mailed from a self-service postal kiosk in Loveland that morning. The return address was fake. Whoever sent it had paid cash-equivalent postage through the kiosk. My stolen scanner had traveled 15 miles only to come back through the mail. That did not make sense. Then we turned it on. The scanner still worked. It stored recent scan history. I had forgotten that. So had whoever stole it. The device contained dozens of test scans from before the theft, then several new ones afterward. UPC codes, shipping labels, random items. Officer Moreno photographed the history screen. One entry was not a product barcode. It was a shipping label. Destination? A storage facility in South Fort Collins. Unit number included. I looked at Moreno. She looked at me. That might be something. Police obtained what they needed before checking the unit. I was not involved. That mattered. No civilian sting. No tracking criminals through alleys. No heroic warehouse guy adventure. I stayed home. Several hours later, Moreno called. The storage unit contained property. A lot of property. Unopened packages. Opened merchandise. Shipping boxes. Clothing. Small electronics, household goods, items from multiple neighborhoods. My second scanner was there. So was Gloria's missing blood pressure monitor. Some prescription packaging was recovered too, though medication itself had already been discarded or separated. Darren Pike's name appeared on the storage rental agreement. That gave police another concrete connection. But Darren was still missing. Then Donna's camera problem became my problem again. Someone posted a screenshot from my mailbox footage to the neighborhood app. Not me. Not police. A screenshot of Kelsey holding the stolen package toward the camera. My camera timestamp was visible. So was part of Gloria's house. The caption read, "Ryan's camera caught them. HOA tried to remove it." The post exploded. Comments, arguments, people tagging Donna, people demanding explanations, people calling her irresponsible. Others accused the HOA of protecting thieves, which was completely false and dangerously stupid. I messaged the poster asking them to remove it. They did. Too late. Donna came to my house, furious. "You gave residents police footage?" "No." "Then where did this come from?" "I do not know." "Only you and police had the clip. And Gloria saw it." "Anyone else?" "Maybe the officer showed another investigator." Donna stopped. Then I remembered. The screenshot was not from my exported clip. It was from my phone interface. The controls were visible. Someone had photographed my screen. I thought back. When had I shown that clip around other people? Gloria, Officer Moreno, Donna, briefly, and Cheryl Ramsey. Cheryl had come over the day after her own package vanished. I showed her several clips because she wanted to know whether the same suspects appeared near her house. She had taken a photo of Kelsey's face with her phone so she could recognize her if she returned. I had forgotten. I called Cheryl. She admitted posting it. She apologized immediately. I was angry. I know. I thought people should know. They should, but not like that. I know. Then she said something important. People are blaming Donna. Yes. She did try to remove it. Yes. But she did not help the thieves. No. That distinction became the next challenge. Revenge is easy when the other person deserves every bad thing attached to them. Donna did not. She deserved embarrassment for bad enforcement. She deserved having the camera policy blow up in her face. She deserved her frosted plastic strip becoming evidence of how badly she handled the situation. She did not deserve to be accused of protecting criminals. So I posted one message. No screenshots. No dramatic language. I wrote that the HOA dispute and the theft investigation were separate. Donna had opposed my camera for privacy and architectural reasons. I disagreed with her and still did. But there was no evidence she had any connection to the thieves, and residents should stop suggesting otherwise. The comments calmed down. Not completely. Enough. Donna read the post, then called me. "You defended me. I corrected people." "Same thing." "No." Pause. "Thank you." That might have been the most uncomfortable conversation of her life. I enjoyed it quietly. 2 days later, the board suspended all fines against my mailbox camera while the new policy was finalized. Not withdrawn. Suspended. Donna insisted the distinction mattered. I told her it mattered mostly to people who enjoyed folders. She did not disagree. Then police found Darren. Not in some dramatic chase. He made a parking mistake. A patrol officer spotted the white sedan outside a convenience store in Greeley, ran the plate, and realized it was connected to the package theft investigation. Darren came outside carrying an energy drink and walked directly toward the vehicle. Officers detained him without a fight. Inside the sedan were empty shipping boxes, gloves, and 2 packages reported stolen earlier that day from another neighborhood. That should have been the major victory. Instead, Officer Moreno called me that evening with news that was even stranger. Darren told detectives the crew had changed routes because of my camera. They knew exactly which house had it. They knew Donna kept complaining about it, too. Travis had overheard her arguing with me beside the curb once. After that, they began watching for moments when the lens looked blocked or turned. I felt cold. The frosted strip? Moreno said, Darren claims they noticed it. I sat down. That meant Donna's temporary privacy shield had not just theoretically reduced the camera view. The thieves had seen it. And for at least one day, they believed my camera had become less useful. According to Darren, that was why they returned to Alder Creek more aggressively. They thought the camera dispute was solving their security problem for them. I looked out toward Donna's house. She had no idea. The woman who spent weeks insisting my camera made residents unsafe had accidentally made package thieves feel safer. And in Part 4, she was going to have to learn that from the police report itself. Donna learned about the frosted strip problem from Officer Moreno, and I was grateful it did not come from me. If I had told her, she would have assumed I was enjoying the irony. I was enjoying the irony. That did not mean I wanted to deliver it personally. Officer Moreno asked Donna to meet at the clubhouse office because the police needed the HOA to preserve several emails and notices connected to the camera dispute. Nothing criminal about them. They simply helped establish when the camera had been obstructed, when the thieves returned, and why Darren believed the view had become weaker. Donna invited me because some of the emails belonged to my violation case. I arrived expecting awkward paperwork. Instead, I walked into the most uncomfortable security briefing in Alder Creek history. Officer Moreno laid out the sequence calmly. The mailbox camera captured repeated suspicious activity. Donna issued removal demands. Police asked me not to change the angle. Donna later applied a frosted privacy strip. The strip partially blocked the sidewalk approach. The thieves noticed that. According to Darren's statement, Travis mentioned the camera looked covered during one pass through the neighborhood. They took that as evidence that somebody had complained or the homeowner had been forced to reduce the view. They did not know the details. They did not need to. They simply believed one obstacle had become weaker. Donna sat completely still. She looked at Officer Moreno, then at me, then at the little frosted strip sealed inside a clear evidence sleeve. I made them more confident, Moreno answered carefully. You did not cause the thefts. But I made the camera less useful. Temporarily. And they saw that. Yes. Donna looked toward me. I expected anger. Instead, she said, I am sorry. Not a procedural apology. No qualification. No if you felt. Just 3 words. I nodded. Thank you. She looked down. I should not have touched it. No. I should have asked more questions. Yes. She gave me a tired look. Do not enjoy this too much. I am trying. Officer Moreno almost smiled. Then she gave us the next problem. Police had recovered dozens of packages from the storage unit and vehicle, but matching every item to every victim was slow. Some shipping. Labels had been torn off. Several boxes were opened and mixed together. Receipts were missing. Some people had already received refunds or replacements and stopped tracking the original loss. Investigators needed residents from Alder Creek, Westfield Glen, and Briar Hollow to identify property where possible. Donna immediately shifted into administrative yode. How do we coordinate that? Officer Moreno looked at her. Carefully. No public pile of stolen goods. No neighborhood free-for-all. No posting photographs of personal prescription labels or addresses. Police would contact confirmed victims individually. The HOA could help residents locate theft report numbers, and remind them to save delivery records. Donna nodded. That was the first time I saw her organization become genuinely useful in this story. She built a simple resident information sheet. Not a policy, not a rule, just, if you reported a missing package, keep your order confirmation, delivery photo, replacement correspondence, and police report number. That helped. No cameras mentioned. No architecture. No feelings about LEDs. Progress. Gloria recovered her blood pressure monitor 4 days later. The box had been opened. The device itself was still sealed. Officer Moreno arranged the return after the property unit finished documenting it. Gloria called me from her kitchen. It came back. Good. I do not even need it now. My daughter bought another. Keep both. I have 2 blood pressure monitors because of organized porch crime. That sounds medically thorough. She laughed. Then her voice softened. I ordered my prescription to the house again. That mattered more. Good. I watched the tracking page for 3 hours. That sounds exhausting. It was. But I did it. The package arrived safely. She sent me a photograph. Not of the box, of herself holding it beside the front door with the expression of someone who had won a small argument against fear. That picture stayed with me. The police case developed without turning into television. Darren, Kelsey, and Travis were tied to multiple theft reports through vehicle records, recovered property, footage from several neighborhoods, witness descriptions, online resale activity, and statements obtained during the investigation. My mailbox camera was one piece. An important one. Not magic. The clear plate image connected the fleeing vehicle. Kelsey's face helped identification. Travis's repeated appearances established pattern. The earlier sedan clips helped show timing. Other cameras, patrol observations, storage evidence, and recovered packages did the rest. That was exactly how I wanted it. The camera did not become some superhero. It became what it was supposed to be. A witness that never needed to remember whether the hoodie was gray or black. Donna's HOA problem, however, became much stranger. Residents now wanted security cameras everywhere, not literally everywhere, but close enough. The new camera guideline draft became the most popular document Alder Creek had produced in years. People who normally ignored HOA emails started commenting. One resident wanted to know whether package box cameras could be mounted inside decorative posts. Another asked whether a camera could cover a driveway and mailbox simultaneously. Someone asked whether wildlife cameras counted. Donna forwarded that one to me with, "Please say no." I replied, "Depends if the raccoons pay dues." She did not respond for 2 hours. Then, "I regret asking you to participate." The final camera standard stayed short. That was my condition. Private exterior cameras were allowed if mounted on the owner's property, maintained in good condition, and primarily oriented toward the owner's entrances, driveway, mailbox area, or yard. Incidental capture of streets and sidewalks was allowed. Deliberately aiming into neighboring windows or private fenced areas was not. No audio amplification, no flashing floodlights directly into neighboring homes, small devices integrated into existing mailbox or exterior fixtures did not require architectural approval unless they materially changed the structure. Donna wanted the phrase materially alter visual character. I removed it. She restored it. I removed it again. We compromised on materially change the structure. That was the closest I came to winning a war through Microsoft Word. Then came the question of my fines. $375 total. Donna brought them up during a board work session. Not a hearing. Not a dramatic public showdown. 5 board members around a table. Me sitting near the end because Donna asked me to attend. She opened the violation file, then said, "I recommend cancellation." I looked at her. One board member asked why. Donna answered before I could. The original device standard did not clearly prohibit this installation. Another member asked about the harassment concern. Donna said, "We did not establish targeted conduct." Then she added, "And our interim enforcement action interfered with a camera view that later proved useful to law enforcement." Nobody spoke. That sentence hurt her, I could tell. She said it anyway. The board approved cancellation. No one clapped. No one demanded Donna resign. No one made her stand up and apologize under fluorescent lighting. Good. The fine disappeared. That was enough. Then Donna did something I did not expect. She slid the violation folder across the table to me. "What?" "Keep it." "Why?" "It is closed." "You keep records." "Not this one." I opened it. Every notice, every photograph, every ridiculous phrase. Perception of targeted observation. Exterior device, non-compliance. Willful continuation. I looked at her. "Are you trying to destroy evidence?" She stared. "No. Because giving me the entire folder is suspicious. You asked for transparency. I am joking. I know." That was new. She knew. A month after Darren's arrest, Alder Creek held its normal fall cleanup morning. Nothing related to package theft. No safety festival, no camera celebration. Just residents trimming common shrubs, collecting leaves, and pretending volunteer yard work was community bonding. Donna assigned me mailbox row cleanup. I accused her of revenge. She said, "You are emotionally attached to that area." Fair. While I was clearing dead leaves near the curb, she walked over carrying a small cardboard box. She set it on my parcel shelf. "What is that?" "Delivery test." I stared. "Why?" She pointed toward my camera. "Does it see the label?" "Yes." "Can it see the sidewalk?" "Yes." "Can it see my house?" "No." "Good." Then she picked up the box. I looked at her. "That is harassment." She froze, then laughed. Actually laughed. "You waited a month for that?" "Yes. Was it worth it?" "Completely." She shook her head, then held up the box. "What is inside?" "Nothing." "You carried an empty package down here for a joke?" "It is a compliance test. Donna?" "Goodbye, Ryan." She walked away. The camera remained. Same position, same angle. No decorative shield, no HOA warning attached. I upgraded the storage card and added better password protection after police suggested basic security improvements. That was it. No tower, no floodlights, no neighborhood surveillance grid. The strange thing was that once the HOA stopped treating cameras like moral objects, most residents became reasonable about them. A few installed doorbell cameras. 3 added driveway coverage. Gloria installed a small porch camera after her daughter helped. Miles's family bought a locked package box. Cheryl started sending expensive deliveries to a pickup location because she decided cameras were useful, but not magical. The neighborhood became safer, mostly because people became less casual. That was the real outcome. The camera did not eliminate theft. Attention did. Drivers varied drop locations when requested. Residents retrieved packages faster. Neighbors texted each other if they saw boxes sitting too long. people stopped posting delivery details publicly. The HOA included package security reminders twice a year. Donna wrote them. She never used the phrase surveillance atmosphere again. I noticed. Then one afternoon, several months later, a delivery van stopped at Gloria's house. The driver placed a small package on her porch. 10 minutes later, Gloria walked outside, picked it up, and waved toward my house. My mailbox camera caught only the edge of that moment. Just her arm. Part of the package. Nothing invasive. Nothing dramatic. Exactly the kind of ordinary scene Donna once feared the camera would somehow poison. Instead, it looked like what it was. A neighbor receiving something safely. That same evening, Donna walked past during her usual loop. She noticed me near the mailbox, then glanced at the lens. "Is it recording?" "Yes." She stopped. I waited. She looked directly toward the camera, then said, "For the record, I am walking voluntarily." I laughed. "That is going in the file. You do not have a file." "I have yours." Her expression changed. "You still kept that?" "Every page." "Why?" "Historical documentation." She stared at me, then pointed toward my house. "You are exactly why people fear surveillance." Targeted observation. "Good night, Ryan." She walked away laughing. That was the perfect ending for Donna. Not humiliation, not defeat, not resignation. She remained the same organized, irritating, rule-loving woman. But now, every time she passed my mailbox, the camera she once called harassment reminded her of one uncomfortable fact. The lens had never been the threat. The people stealing packages were. The camera simply made it harder for them to stay invisible. And the most satisfying part was not that police used my footage. It was that Donna's own crusade against the camera became the example Alder Creek used when rewriting its rules. She wanted the device removed because residents might feel watched. The thieves noticed when she partially blocked it and felt safer. Police documented why the unobstructed view mattered. Residents demanded clearer security standards. The HOA canceled my fines. And the final policy specifically protected the exact kind of mailbox camera Donna had tried to eliminate. That was HOA revenge without needing to invent a loophole. I did not rename the camera, did not disguise it, did not turn it into a business, memorial, educational installation, or decorative birdhouse. I simply left it where it had always been. The facts did the transforming. A harassment device became useful evidence. A privacy battle became a better privacy rule. A neighborhood afraid of being watched learned the difference between surveillance and security. And a woman who once taped plastic over my lens eventually carried an empty package into its field of view just to test whether the new standard worked. At Sovereign Verdict, those are the HOA victories worth remembering. The ones where ridiculous enforcement collapses under reality, but nobody has to become a cartoon villain for the payoff to feel satisfying. If you enjoy original HOA revenge, where one petty complaint accidentally creates the exact proof that destroys it, subscribe to Sovereign Verdict. There are plenty more neighborhoods where someone is probably writing a violation notice while the evidence is quietly recording them from 6 feet away.